Hey everyone, it's UB. I wanted to do this market review for you all. I said that I was going to make it, then I said that I wasn't because my voice still sounds horrible. And I tried to write everything out in a text document, but I felt like I just wasn't getting my thoughts across as I wanted to. So even though my voice still sounds horrible and I'm coughing every 5 minutes, I'm going to try and suffer through it and make this so that we are all on the same page and you guys understand my thought processes, because I haven't been able to make a morning scan because I've had basically no voice. Sorry, you may hear silence throughout the video every few minutes because, like I said, I have to cough. I can't help it. It's really frustrating. But anyway, let's get into the daily chart. So the daily was very anticlimactic today, the close. I would have really loved to see a close in the green area. That would have been very good for the bulls, but the bulls still aren't out of the picture yet. What I could see possibly happening is, obviously we're getting rejected, as you can see. So we could possibly get rejected here, go down, bounce off of this support and resistance flip, and then pop right through green. That's a scenario I could definitely see happening. This 3930 area is very significant. Obviously on the daily you can see that it's a support and resistance flip with the candle bodies. And what's cool about that is if we now move over to my intraday chart, which is right here, look at 3930. It just so happens that that's the equilibrium. That's the equilibrium of this trading range. Okay, so we have my range low here, my range low here, or I'm sorry, my range low, range high here. Okay, and then we have the 50% of that range, which is 3930 as well. And what's also cool about that is going to be an area with liquidity, and that's also the 0.5 fib. So we have all of that confluence there. So if the bulls lose this right here, that will be very, very bad, and we'll most likely see, I mean, my ultimate target is about 2.8, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. We'll obviously most likely see 3.6K again. So what's important for the bulls to hold throughout today will be this little dotted line block here. So I think a bounce here is probably likely. What I'm envisioning is something like this. So maybe we'll continue the dump, bounce off of here, get rejected here, then dump through. I'm kind of envisioning something like that happening. But like I said, this equilibrium and all of this confluence is absolutely imperative that the bulls hold. If something like this happens, we dump through, we bounce, get rejected here. This is 100% a short right here. Then we'll dump through. So it's very, 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 very important that the bulls get a strong bounce off of 3930, that area right around here. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward. That's what I'll be looking at throughout the day today, possibly tomorrow. You never know how long this will take. But this looks pretty bad if we're looking at it. If we're looking at it on an intraday level, we have this area right here. So right here you can see it took a lot of attempts to get through this gray block, but it only took 2 attempts to break through it, or break down, which is very, very bearish in my opinion. And that's because typically what you want to see is these strong resistance areas become support on the way down. Okay, so if they don't become support on the way down, that just means that this up here was just distribution. We could just say this is distribution or deviation, whatever you would like to call it. I would say that it's most likely distribution right here. So now what we have here is a ton of trapped longs here. We have trapped longs in gray, and there's a lot of trapped liquidity up here. We're also going to have liquidity at this X here, which is a very, very important area, which I already talked about, and we have liquidity down here. Will we get down here? Maybe. I could definitely see an argument for it, and it is very attractive to go for. Will it happen? Not entirely sure. We'll just have to wait and see. But just for today and tomorrow, just watch out for that 0.5 fib. Or I'm sorry, the equilibrium. Anything else I wanted to talk about? I have my daily chart. I went over that. I went over this. Anything else? Oh yeah, I did want to mention this. So something that I am concerned about is if I'm looking at my other intraday chart here, there's equal highs right here on the 4 hour that we weren't quite able to hit today. But I am a little concerned about them for a few different reasons. Firstly, it's a very easy target to gain liquidity, and because it's a high time frame area, there's going to be maybe that's not the best choice of words. There may not be as much liquidity, but it's more of a target because it's a higher time frame liquidity area. Okay, and the only higher time frame target liquidity area I see on higher time frames to the downside would probably be here, and honestly that's really it. So that's the only liquidity area I see on the downside. I mean major liquidity area. Obviously there's going to be stops below any of these 4 hour candles, but the major area would be below here. So that's something I'm concerned about. It's definitely a possibility that we could go take out these stops at the equal highs here before going down, but I'm definitely not ruling this out. If we break above this 4200 area again, I will ultimately be targeting these equal highs to be taken out, and then possibly a short here, maybe. My throat is on absolute fire right now. Oh, thank God my microphone is on. I would have been furious. Oh my God, I would have been so mad if that was muted. But anyway, so this is possibly an area I would like to short. That's the 4500 area and the 4600 area. But that would only be if we break above 4200 again. Okay, I hope that was helpful. I'm sorry again if my voice sounds horrible and I was coughing throughout this video. I apologize. I hope this did end up helping you out a bit. If you have any questions, as always, please feel free to ask.